German Chancellor caves into Turkish pressure to prosecute a German comedian for mocking President Erdogan. A new poll in the UK points to the rise of Islamophobia in Britain, highlighting a deepening divide between the country's Muslim and non-Muslim populations. Continued unrest over labour reforms in France deals a big blow to President Hollande's popularity, with a majority looking set to abandon him at next year's presidential elections. And the world's oil giants are in Qatar, striving to get a deal that would see the surging oil output frozen in order to stop the falling price of black gold. Thanks for joining us this hour. My name is Neil Harvey and you're watching The Weekly here on RT International. The German comedian who upset President Erdogan with a satirical poem can be tried in court. That's after Chancellor Merkel caved in to the demands of the Turkish leader. The offending rhymes by the comedian were broadcast on German television 2 weeks ago. Following the president's complaint, an investigation began under a centuries-old German law that forbids the insulting of foreign leaders. German prosecutors will now decide whether to open a case against the comedian. Meanwhile, the stance of German politicians on the issue has been shifting throughout the week.
We have fundamental values in the Constitution, and that includes Article 5, which is the freedom of opinion, freedom of science, and of course freedom of art. And these fundamental values are valid with regard to any political problems we discuss with Turkey. Turkey is a country that Germany works very closely with on the basis of friendship. Turkey has filed a request for criminal proceedings against comedian Jan Böhmermann because of part of his show about President Erdogan. The German government has examined this request and decided to allow the approval of the case.
It was Angela Merkel who in her desire to please Erdogan, shot herself into the foot here. I think it will definitely have a bad effect on popularity, because the majority of the German population doesn't even know what this satire was about. And Merkel being pandering to Erdogan, and that will definitely cost her even more sympathy.
The comedian said that he was inspired to write the poem after another German comedy sketch provoked outrage from Ankara.
Ein Journalist, der was verfasst, dass Erdogan nicht passt, ist morgen schon im Knast. Redaktion wird dicht gemacht, er denkt nicht lange nach und fährt mit Tränengas und Wasserwerfern durch die Nacht. Sei schön charmant, denn hat dich in der Hand. Erdogan, Erdobo, Erdogan.
I think humor plays a role in the checks and balances that we should consider an integral part of a democratic society. You have to be able to take criticism if you're going to be in the public eye. It's irrelevant whether it's funny or not. It is a criticism. It is part of comedy and humor, and man, if you can't take it, you should probably find a different job.
Well, the comedian's case has become a sore point for the German Chancellor, with many questioning her future in politics. However, good relations with Turkey are now vital for European leaders after they sealed a deal with Ankara to help the EU with migrants. But at a recent session of the European Parliament, tempers flared and accusations were traded, with MEPs wrangling over the deal.
My question to you, Mr. Tusk, is can we continue with a deal that is against international law and against our obligations? What are you doing? What is your answer to that?
The deal with Turkey is not perfect.
We have put ourselves in the hands of Erdogan.
You are forced to accept anything from him just for him to keep the refugees.
While MEPs were clashing with each other over the refugee crisis, migrants were clashing with police on the Greek-Macedonian border. That's after they attempted to scale a razor-wire fence. Police used tear gas on them and had to shelter behind an armoured vehicle in order not to be hit by a volley of projectiles thrown at them. Well, there have been some calls for a referendum as the only way to resolve the migrant crisis. But Luxembourg's foreign minister has hit out at European nations for constantly turning to the people.